Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna do my go-to products, what I normally do like when I go to work or when I'm just getting ready to film, like, or going out. Just my normal everyday makeup routine. It's gonna be a little bit chatty, so I will apologize. These are my clothes that I'm gonna change into later. So for eyeshadow, I'm gonna use my Tribe palette from Juvia's Place. They did discontinue this, but you can still get it on Poshmark and eBay, but I haven't used it in a while and it's got the limey greens in it, so we're going to use that. I will get ready, so you can sit and get ready with me, and I will show you what a lot of my go-to products are. A lot of it's high-end, so I apologize. That's just a lot of the stuff that I like to use. And yeah, if that sounds interesting, stick around, make sure you subscribe, and yeah, let's get into what I do on the day-to-day. Excuse the pillows. There is a recliner right here. I finally moved the makeup storage downstairs. We're slowly starting to get the bedroom ready because the baby's going to be in here after it's born. So there's a recliner here. These pillows normally go on my bed. This is the only video I'm filming over here today. Everything else I'm going to do at my setup back there. So I just haven't moved them. So hopefully that doesn't bother anybody too much. To start off, this is from a car. It's a Skin Pure lip restoration thing. I think I got it in a Ipsy. I like to put this on to start, and then later on I'll go in with like my Bite lip balm or some other kind of lip balm. This green one that I got in a BoxyCharm is good, just because my lips are so dry. So usually I will put that on first and then go in with the skincare. And I took my towel away that normally hangs over here, and I didn't put one back, so I may have to go get a towel. But for skincare, I start off, I've been trying to use this up. This is the Gold Fadden Brightening Elixir. I think this came in Ipsy too, when I used to get the Ipsy Plus. It's not bad per se. And then this Gold Fadden brand, I guess, is sold at like Macy's or Nordstrom's. It's expensive. I had the under eye brightening one, and some people love it. It didn't do much for me. Granted, I was using it at night. It may have been one of those things that's better during the day, but it didn't hydrate at all. And my dark circles are really dark, so it didn't do much. And then this, it just says it protects and repairs, and it's a brightening serum. I don't know that this does much either. I've been using it because I have it, but yeah, so far, like, everything that I've tried from this brand has just been okay. And like I said, this is like a $60 or $80 serum. Like, their stuff's not cheap. But for me, because I have a couple different moisturizers that I'll go in with. I have this Avant one that I like, and I have like 2 more of those. And then this Pure Lease, the watermelon balm. We'll use the watermelon one today. I go in with this, and then I go in with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Face Base. Just because my skin I have dry skin and it's dehydrated on top of it. So I've been trying to do better about drinking more water. But the only place I will get a little bit oily is just around, like, in my nose. So makeup a lot of times will not sit right on my nose because it gets a little bit oily. But usually I will put down either a mattifying primer or an eyeshadow primer. And then I use a couple different eye creams. I have 3 of them in here today. I'm just going to use my little Clinique sample. This is the Moisture Surge eye filler, and then I like the Time Wise from Mary Kay. The third one that I'll use is by Pure Lease. This is the 4-in-1 Blue Lotus. I like that one too. I don't think that one's quite as hydrating as the Mary Kay, but it's not bad. So either way, I put this one down first just because my under eyes are very dry. I like this. I don't mind getting little samples of this because you use such a small amount. This will last me a long time. But I do like this, so I might be tempted to get a full size when that runs out. And like the eye cream will last forever. Like this Mary Kay one, I swear I've had for 2 years because like you use just like a pea-sized amount. And I have a small face, so I don't have a big under eye area, but eye creams generally last a long time, so I don't mind spending money on it because I'm gonna have it for a year or two before I get anywhere close to using it up. And then I'm still using my mini little sample size, and I think I'm going to keep this container. I did buy a full size of this, but it's such a big jar, I don't think I have room for it in here. And then when I travel, this is a better size too, so I think I'm just going to keep filling. I'll use my full size and fill this up when it's completely empty. I have little spatulas, so I think that's what I'm going to do, and then just keep this small one in my drawer because that, like I said, the jar that the full size comes in is bigger and I have limited space now for my primers and moisturizers. Before, when I had my bigger thing, I had a drawer just for primers and I could have fit it in there no problem. But again, like I am going to go to Montana for 2 weeks and we are flying on the airplane, so I was thinking like this, I don't want to take the big honking glass jar, even if I could take the big honking glass jar. So I think I'm just going to keep this in my drawer permanently and I'll just keep filling it up. Because this lasted me a long time when it was full. So I think that's what I decided I was going to do. And then my skin is feeling, I don't think I drank enough water yesterday. I'm going to go in with this first. I don't always use this. This is the First Aid, the Coconut Skin Smoothing Primer or Moisturizer, and it gives you a little bit of a glow. I don't like that. I don't always use this. I'm going to today just because my skin, even with that Bobbi Brown, my skin still feels like it's real dry. So we're going to go on with this first before I use my other primers, just because I feel like I need a little bit extra. I'm in Arizona, so it's dry here anyway, and we're still kind of going back and forth between like hot and cold. Like it's supposed to be 66 today, which is funny because Saturday is supposed to be 106. There's a little bit of a cold front today. Wintertime is worse here on people's skin anyway, so I'm just going to let that sit in. I'm going to go grab a towel while that's soaking in, and then I'll keep going with the rest of my stuff. So yeah, I keep a towel hanging. Wipe my eyeshadow brushes. I can wipe my finger. Like, yeah, I took it down because it was dirty. And I do that all the time. I'll take the towel off to wash it, and then I'll forget to put one back. So for primer, I'm using my Urban Decay Optical Illusion. This is like, if you like a pore filling primer, this one is 1,000 times better than the Benefit one, in my opinion. It's smooth. It's got rose hip and argan oil. So it's smoothing, pore perfecting. I just go in with a small amount to begin with. I do a little bit on my forehead. Yeah, I really like, and again, this is something like I'll get when they have the VIB sales. I've had this for a while. Like this is another one that is going to last like 2 years, because for one, when I first got it, I wasn't using it all the time, and it's nice because it's in a pump, so you're not contaminating it, so you can get away with keeping it longer. And a little bit goes a long way. You don't need a lot. I just really like it. It is, I have the Benefit, the hydrating one, but this is better. The other option I do have my 2 e.l.f. Putty Primers, which would be like a drugstore equivalent. Those ones aren't bad. This one's my favorite. So I use it, and it was expensive. I did get it when I had the 15% off. That was one that I got as a sample in Sephora Play. And even the sample took me a long time to get through, like the little trial-sized pump. So like a little goes a long way. And then the other thing I use in conjunction is the Becca Backlight priming filter. I do have a brand new one of these because, as you can see, mine's getting close. These play well together, so they layer nicely. Sometimes if your makeup is not sitting well or it's breaking up weird, it can be because your foundation and your primer, like me, if I use multiple primers, some primers don't like each other and they will start to pill up and get weird. So you just have to experiment and see what combinations work. But these two, even with that other one underneath, seem to do well together. If I'm not going to use that combination, I usually will go in with a little bit of the regular Putty Primer, and then I'll use a little bit of the illuminating one. I keep these in my drawer so that I have drugstore options for videos, because I don't mind the e.l.f. one, but the Becca and the Urban Decay is my favorite combination. And then lately I've just been using my Pure 4-in-1 Tinted Moisturizer. I'm in LG3. It's got SPF 20 in it, which isn't a ton, but it's better than nothing. And I just use my IT Cosmetics foundation brush with it. You can use a sponge, but the tinted moisturizers it's such light coverage that, oh, and I forgot to. Lately, I've been putting a little bit of primer on my nose. I've been using my Ofra one, and also under my eyes. Well, I like the Ofra one for under my eyes. Keeps my concealer from creasing. It's a very similar consistency to the Urban Decay primer, so if you like that one. I had that one and it ran out, and I've been trying to use this Ofra one up. This keeps my concealer from creasing, so I put a little bit of this here. And then the primer that I like for my nose is actually the Ulta one. This is the mattifying one. I just use a little bit, and it kind of helps things stay on my nose. I'm going to do this today. I don't do this for work normally because I wear a mask, and so I don't normally put anything on my nose. I kind of stop mid-bridge. But since I'm filming and I'm going to be home today, this will help if you're somebody that has trouble keeping foundation on your nose. The MAC Paint Pot works good too. That's a thicker one, so a little bit goes a long way. If you use too much, it'll make it look weird. It looks weird on your nose, but you can go in with a mattifying primer. I like the Rimmel one. I have that one in my drawer. Sometimes I'll use that first, and then I'll go in with this, because this is going to keep, an eyeshadow primer is designed to keep like your eyelids matte and kind of give it a little bit of tack, as that's what it's meant for. So I just put a little bit on my nose, and it kind of helps things stick, because if you have trouble with foundation sticking to your nose, a lot of times it's because of oil. Like I said, I'm dry all over except for right around here. And sometimes, like if you put too much of a silicone primer on your nose, it creates extra slip, and then stuff doesn't want to stick. So I found that using the eyeshadow primer, I like using the MAC, that one and the MAC one, because they have a little bit of a tint to it, so you get a little bit of coverage. But for the moisturizer, I just go in with the brush. You could use the sponge. With tinted moisturizers, I don't like to, because the coverage is so minimal to begin with. The sponge is just gonna soak it up. I have a pretty even skin tone other than my dark circles, so I like doing this. I think with COVID, I have kind of gotten away from wearing a lot of foundations just because of the mask situation. But also because I live in Arizona, it's starting to get warm here and I don't like a bunch of stuff on my face. So I have some foundations in my drawer. I don't wear them often anymore. I either use this or my BB cream I have one from Pure Lease that I like. I would like to get a hold of, Maybelline is coming out with the Fit Me Tinted Moisturizer. I would like to get a hold of that. I think I'm in 125. I think that used to be the shade that I wore in their foundation. So I'm going to try and see if at some point I can get a hold of that, because I really, really do like tinted moisturizers more than anything else, because like I said, I don't really need a whole lot of coverage. And then I do have my e.l.f. CC cream, which is full coverage. The BB cream's in between this and the tinted moisturizer. Pure is one of those brands that's hit and miss. I like some stuff from them and then other stuff I don't. Okay, so then I go in with concealer. First I used my Pixie color corrector. Becca had, I guess technically they still have one if you can get a hold of it. Becca has one that's equivalent to the Pixie. There's a hair coming out of my brush. Let's see if I can go around it and help try and pull it out later. But since Becca's going away, if you're interested in that color corrector, I would just get the Pixie one. It's a little bit cheaper. I think this one's like $22, but again, this lasts me for over a year. I had my other one. I just replaced it recently, and I had my other one for over a year because a little bit goes a long way. You don't use a lot of color corrector. I think the Becca one was like 30. This one might be 12. This was like half the price. Yeah, the Becca one was more, but now that Becca's going away, I would say just get the Pixie one. Then I go in with a little bit of the Neutrogena. This is in my skin tone. I use a concealer that is lighter on top, but I use just a little bit right here in the front where it's the darkest to help conceal. And then I usually will go in with a little bit of the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. This is like the third one of these that I bought. I like this. And this one is in a lighter shade. I think this is Warm Light 115. So this is lighter than that Neutrogena one. I found because like this front area gets so dark, if I go in just with this and not a little bit of Neutrogena, you can still see a little bit of that darkness come through. And then I'll just use just a little bit of the e.l.f. hydrating one. Again, this one's almost up. I have another one ready to go. When I finally finish this all up. I do have my Shape Tape, and then the Conceal and Hydrate from Revolution is good too. That one is super light. I like that one for doing cut creases because it's like borderline white. I got a super light shade in that. But that one's also good if my foundation's too dark. I've actually been mixing their Conceal and Hydrate foundation with my ABH because I ordered a new ABH foundation because the one that I got sent was too dark, way too dark. And the one that I bought is still a little dark for me. I think it would have been my perfect shade under normal circumstances, but I'm so fair, I think, because of everything that's been going on the last year. So I mix a little bit of my Conceal and Hydrate because that is lighter. It was really light, and now it's almost like my exact shade, which tells you how fair I've gotten. I put a little bit on my nose. Like I said, I don't need a ton, and I'm somebody that has allergies, so I end up having to wipe my nose a lot, so the foundation will start to separate around down in here. So I've gotten to where I try not put a lot there anyway, because it's not going to stay there. I may do eyeshadow in a separate video. I'm going to watch see how long this, I don't want this video to be a million years, so I may end up doing eyeshadow in a separate video, which is fine. I'll just split it up. We'll see. Like I said, while I'm watching it, trying to keep an eye on the time. Okay. So then I go in and set. And even when I'm just doing the tinted moisturizer and just a tiny bit of concealer, I still set it. Under my eyes, I'm going to use this e.l.f. That little, it used to be like $2. I don't know how much it costs now. The sheer under eye setting powder, just because I have it and I'm trying to use this up. I believe they still sell this, and it is a good under eye setting powder. It has a little bit of like micro shimmer in it, so it's got like a little bit of a brightening effect. I'll just put a little bit on my nose because I think I put too much concealer because it's like, looks weird right there. But yeah, I've had this for a while. This was like a repurchase, and then I just stopped using it, and I'm trying to use it up. And then I may get another one at a later date, but it's a good under eye. My face gets itchy because I have dogs, so there's dog hair all over everything. The skin on my nose never looks really good either. That's the other issue. Okay, I'm just going to go in with my number 7 pressed powder today. I do have some loose powders. If I am going to do a loose powder, I've generally been doing like my Too Faced Born This Way. I like that one. The other one I have in my drawer is Tarte. I have my Fenty one in Butter. My e.l.f. that like halo powder. Sometimes I'll put over. I like this number 7 one because it's got a little bit of a blurring. I guess this is supposed to be a good dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder. I'll usually take a little bit under my eyes. Because my skin's been so dry, I need to probably go get I do my own facials at home. I need to probably go get another like professional one just because it helps with the texture. And then we'll just go in with a little bit of the Revolution skin. What is this? The Skin Finish and Opal Essence. I like my skin to look glowy. I don't like putting the tinted moisturizer on and not setting it because I hate the feeling of like tackiness on my face. So even if I'm just doing the tinted moisturizer and nothing else, I still set it. A lot of people will do the tinted moisturizer and not set it. I don't like anything. I set everything. So I got to put, there was like dog hair on something. My face is itchy. Usually my brushes always get, there's so much dog hair floating around that. And they're like little small hairs sometimes, so I'll like have one sitting on my face and it'll itch and I can't see it. Drives me nuts. Okay. And then I will go in and set it. I'm going to use this Skin & Co. Truffle Therapy, the Radiant Dew one. I have a couple. There's a Pixie one. The Pixie Glow one is down there. The Cover, I have the Cover Effects Radiant one. There it is. Found one of them. I like to go in with that one first. That way I don't have, like, especially if I'm going to use the Cover Effects one, the illuminating one. So I don't have like glittery eyebrows, but I like that one. It just puts a little bit of moisture back in. And then I've got the watermelon one from Glow Recipe. Feeling powdery, so we're going to go in with both. I have one from Wander Beauty, a bunch of glow ones. Okay, and then it's eyebrows. I'm just going to do my eyebrows off camera just because it's boring and it takes me a little bit. So I'll do my eyebrows and then I'll do bronzer and blush on camera. And then if you want to see an updated brow routine, let me know. I did have some requests like a year ago and I forgot to do it. I use like 4 different products. I use a pencil, a little bit of a pomade, a powder, tinted gel. I used a little bit of a clear gel today to lock it in place a little better. My eyebrows are thinner, like thin anyway. They're a little bit thinner lately. My thyroid is low, like not like scary low, but low enough that it probably should be taking medication for it. But because I'm pregnant, we're just kind of waiting until after I have the baby, and then I'll have my labs and stuff run again. But so my eyebrows are a little bit thinner than normal because my thyroid is a little bit on the low side. I think I'm between the low end of normal and low, so I'm right there. So I think they're going to wait. Now I'm going to go back in with this. I think they're going to wait until after I have the baby before they start figuring out if I need to be on thyroid medication. My mom is. My grandma just had to start going on thyroid medication. She's like 85, so hers is just because of age. So it wouldn't surprise me if I had thyroid issues. I have had issues like with my metabolism and weight gain and weight loss, so it wouldn't surprise me to start having issues with my thyroid. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my favorite contour, which is out of the Tarte Hamptons Weekender Little Trio. I've talked about this a bunch. This is usually a palette that I bring when I travel anywhere. I like the blush. The highlighter in here is nice. I mean, the highlighter is not anything to yell home about, but it's a good highlighter. Like, it's a nice everyday. I would say it's equivalent to like the, was it the Mary Luminizer from the Balm, that popular one? Very, very similar in tone. This one's probably not quite as blinding. I think the Mary Lou may be just a touch. And those are both like subtle highlighters anyway, but I would say this one's just a hair more subtle, but it's a good, like, everyday highlighter. And like I said, I like the blush. It's just a nice, like, rose, mauve rose, like neutrally shade. So I generally will bring this palette. If you've never watched me get ready, I like to go in with a matte contour and then I will go in with a shimmery bronzer to blend it out. If I want a little bit more of a glam look, I go into my Park Avenue Princess and then I go in with Angel. The normal shade for me would be Princess Cut, which is equivalent to the shade that's in this palette. And then Angel's a little bit deeper. So we're going to go in with just a little bit of that, and I keep it closer to the back. This will give me a little bit more of a glam look since I've got my whole face showing. For work, generally I just do the basic because you don't see very much with the mask on, and then I just keep it closer to the back of my temples. Like I said, if I want a little bit more of a glam look, I'll go in with both shades. Okay. And then let me make sure that's blended. So it's not necessary to use both. I will if I'm looking for a little more of a, like, a glam. Then go back in. This is Farmer's Market is this shade, but it's very close to Princess Cut. They're both matte. It's about the same tone level, depth, same undertones. Normally I'll contour my Cupid's bow. I don't know that I'm going to do that today. This makes it a little more pronounced. I don't think it's necessary. I'll just do under my lip, and I did my nose. Okay. So for bronzer, like a shimmery bronzer, I have lots of options. Betty Lou from the Manizer is one that I'll use a lot. If I want something subtle, I'll do the Peach Glow, which is more of a glow than a shimmer. but I like that one. The one out of the Sugar Peach one is good. Even Park Avenue Princess has a shimmery one. There's a bunch of different ones that I'll use. Carrot is the one that I use out of here. There's a couple of Becca ones. Yeah, the shimmery one, I even have some singles. The Chocolate Gold is one that I'll use a lot. I have one from Revolution Becca. There's a couple of different Too Faced ones. So we'll just use the Betty Lou shade today. And it's not so much glittery as I would say glowy, because the shimmer that's in these is not going to look like glitter. It's just going to make it look glowy. So I like to go in with a matte contour and a glowy bronzer to kind of help blend it out. That, again, is not necessary. I learned this like when I was taking like classes. This was a pro tip. Gives you more of a natural like sun-kissed look. And I like a little bit of shimmer. So the glowier the better. Now I did get this Natasha Denona palette as an add-on. So I think I might try the blush out of here. I was going to use my go-to blush, but I think we're just going to use, I'm going to try the highlighters and the powder blush. I'm not going to mess around with the creams today. But I'm curious about this formula, so I think we'll do that today. So I like to go in with highlighter first and then do blush. I feel like it melts them together, because a lot of people will do the Neapolitan where they want, you know, bronzer, blush, and highlighter, and they should all kind of melt together. There shouldn't be so much of a, there's Glow Extreme and Diamond Powder. Let's do Glow Extreme, and then I may do Diamond Powder on top. I just want to see. I would say this is more of an everyday. What would be everyday for me? It's pretty. It's a champagne-y color, which I like. I do a little bit above my eyebrow, and I come around here. Yeah, you don't want them to be so layered that it looks like Neapolitan on your cheeks. Everything should kind of, and I don't like it to look like the highlighter's sitting on my skin, so I find doing the highlighter and then the blush kind of helps keep that from happening. And then we're going to put a little bit of this diamond powder. Looks real pretty. Oh, that amps it up. It is glittery, but again, I don't mind a glitter, so we're just going to do the glitter right here. A little bit on the very top and not swirl the glitter all the way around. That's pretty. That diamond powder reminds me of that Fenty diamond. Was it the Diamond Balm? I never bought it, but I've seen people use it. A little bit right there. I'll do a little bit right there. I'll put a little bit on my Cupid's bow. It won't stay. My Cupid's bow is so small. Highlighter doesn't stay there very long, which is fine. I like that diamond powder on top. Like I said, I don't mind stuff that's a little bit shimmery. Doesn't bother me. Not everybody wants to be completely like a light bulb. I think because I'm so dry, I can get away with excessive glow, because I know that e.l.f. illuminating primer, some people think it makes them look greasy, but I think because my skin is so dry, I've never felt like it made me look greasy. Now, if you want more of a lifted look, keep your blush out here, kind of do 2 fingers next to your nose, and then just concentrate. I do a little bit on my cheek, on the apple. My cheekbones are naturally high anyway, so I don't think it matters. But yeah, if you want more of a lifted look, don't put the blush on your apples, do space, and then just concentrate your blush out here. I don't necessarily need my face to look any more lifted because my face is already narrow. I have naturally high cheekbones. I have to be careful when I'm thinner. I'm a little bit heavier because I'm pregnant, but when I'm thinner, at my thinnest, my face will start to look sunken in, and I have to be careful about how much I contour, because I will start to look like Skeletor. Not on purpose, but it just kind of happens because My face is already thin. So if you contour too much or don't have the contour in the right spot, it'll make you look sunken. Real sunken in, which is not, I mean, if that's what that's the look you're going for, and that's fine, but that's not necessarily what I'm going for. So I don't necessarily need my face to look more lifted, but yeah, if you want a more lifted look, keep your blush for there. I don't mind those. That blush is pretty. I'll have to experiment with the cream products. That was available in the BoxyCharm pop-up for a while, and I was like, I don't need it. I'm going to just use my Urban Decay. I finally got it. I have two, what are the Benefit, forgot the brand. I have two Benefit palettes. Like, I have a lot of face palettes. I don't have a ton. I keep my face palettes pretty, like the number pretty minimal, because I use the same ones over and over. But I think that was part of the reason I didn't buy it, because it's just blush and highlight. I use the Urban Decay All Nighter and then a little bit of this Tarte Miracle mix, but I don't use a ton of cream, so like half the palette's cream, but it was a good deal. So, okay. So I think I'll just stop it here. So that was everything like for my face. I'll do eyeshadow in a separate video, so it'll be like 2 days after this. I'm trying to go back to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for my upload, so that'll be there if you want to see the eyeshadow look. I'm going to use my Tribe palette from Juvia's Place. I'm trying to keep this video not like a million years long, so definitely go check that out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Yeah, this is, other than the blush and highlight, this is pretty much like go-to makeup. For blush, I mean, for highlight, I've been using a few different things, like the Becca Moonstone I picked up. I like this 0 for 1. Ray Rider from Kaleidos is one of my favorite go-tos. And then blush, like the Ciate London, the glowy ones. I've been reaching for a lot just because I like the glow. But yeah, other than that, this is pretty much my go-to makeup. And you can see like I look like I have foundation on and I don't. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And yes, make sure you're subscribed, because if you're curious about the look that I do with the Tribe palette. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with that, but again, that video will come up right after this one. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye, everybody.